John Wick steps out of the car, bleeding and staggering. In his final moments, he watches a video of his late wife Helen on his phone. Then we're taken back to a few days earlier, where John wakes up alone. The house is silent, echoing his fresh grief. He drags himself through the routine, clearly broken, haunted by memories of his wife. John gets dressed and heads to Helen's funeral, where Marcus, an old friend, watches from a distance. As he approaches, Marcus offers his condolences and asks how John is holding up. John wants to know why he's there, but Marcus says he just came to check on him, then walks away. Back home, John is alone until he receives a delivery. It's a final gift from Helen, a beagle puppy, along with a letter where she asks him to have something to love besides his car. John breaks down as he reads the letter, holding the puppy she named Daisy. He cares for her tenderly and bonds with her instantly. John takes Daisy for a ride in his car. At a gas station, he catches the eye of Iosef, who compliments his ride, a Mustang Boss 429. John nods thanks, but the kid asks how much he wants for it. John tells him it's not for sale. Annoyed, Iosef mutters that everything has a price and calls John an asshole. John fires back with the same tone, leaving him fuming. One of Iosef's men pulls him away from the car, wishing John a good day as he drives off. That night, John is woken by Daisy. As he gets up, 3 men break into his house, Iosef and his thugs. They beat him savagely, kill Daisy right in front of him, and steal his car. John wakes to Daisy's lifeless body at his side. He says goodbye and buries her in the yard. Then, fueled by rage, he starts cleaning the wreckage they left behind, his mind fixed on Iosef. Meanwhile, Iosef takes the car to Aurelio, who runs a high-end chop shop. One look and Aurelio knows whose car it is. He demands to know where Iosef got it. Cocky, the kid says it's none of his business. Furious, Aurelio orders him and his men out, but Iosef pushes back, claiming he's the one in charge. Aurelio cuts him off, reminding him he works for Iosef's father, and demands to know what happened to the owner. With a sneer, Iosef says he left the man alive, but took care of his dog, laughing as he admits it. Aurelio decks him, knocking him to the floor. Iosef's men pull their guns, warning that his father won't like this. Aurelio snaps back that once he hears what his son did, he'll understand. Shaken, Iosef and his men storm out. Soon after, John shows up asking if the car is there. Aurelio says it was, and reveals the punk responsible is Iosef Tarasov, son of Vigo Tarasov, head of a powerful Russian crime syndicate that runs much of New York's underworld. Aurelio asks what John plans to do. John only asks for a car, then tears off into the night. Later, Vigo calls Aurelio, asking why he hit his son. Aurelio tells him Iosef stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Vigo hangs up instantly and orders Iosef brought in. When the boy enters his father's room, Vigo greets him with a drink, then lands a punch right in his gut. Iosef asks what he did. Vigo answers, "You screwed up." The kid argues he just stole some nobody's car, so Vigo hits him again. Pouring another drink, Vigo explains that nobody was John Wick. A former associate, a legendary killer, the boogeyman. No, the man you send to kill the boogeyman. Vigo reminds him that John once pulled off an impossible task, wiping out enemies so Vigo could rise to power. And now, just days after losing his wife, Iosef stole his car and killed his dog. Iosef insists he can fix it, says he'll take John out himself. Vigo laughs it off, warning him that John is coming. And when he does, there's nothing, absolutely nothing he can do. Moments after Iosef storms out, Vigo calls John, asking for peace. John answers by hanging up on him. Vigo panics, knowing there's no way to stop what's coming, and sends hit squads to kill John at his house. John prepares. He digs up the stash of weapons hidden beneath his floor. That night, Vigo's men break in. In a brutal, precise ballet of violence, John takes them all down. After the carnage, Officer Jimmy knocks on the door. Spotting a body inside, he asks if John's back at work. John shrugs it off, and Jimmy politely excuses himself, clearly aware and respectful of John's world. Once the mess is over, John calls Charlie and his crew to clean up the bodies. They handle the job, John pays, and they part ways. The next day, Vigo visits Marcus, John's friend who attended his wife's funeral but also a contract killer. Vigo offers $2 million to take John out. Marcus accepts, gearing up for the hunt. Meanwhile, John checks into the Continental, a hotel in New York for professional assassins where business is strictly off limits. He's greeted by Charon, the concierge. John pays with special coins and gets his room key. After settling in, John meets Winston, the owner of the Continental. Winston informs him that Iosef is hiding at the Red Circle nightclub. At the same time, Vigo learns John's location and that someone inside the hotel is willing to take a shot at the Baba Yaga. After finding out where Iosef is hiding, John gears up in his room. He heads to the Red Circle and slips inside unnoticed. Moving through the club, John takes out several guards as he makes his way toward Iosef, who's partying, convinced John is no real threat. John finally spots Iosef by the pool. Panic hits, and the kid tries to run while John cuts through bodyguards, setting off a brutal chase. John tracks him through the crowd but gets hit by one of the guards. Even with the relentless pursuit, Iosef barely escapes, shielded by his men. In the chaos, Iosef calls one of his guys, only to hear John's voice. Coldly, John tells him the man is dead, and echoing his words from the gas station, reminds Iosef that in life, everything has a price. After the club fight, John returns to the hotel, wounded, and asks for medical care. In his room, the Continental's doctor stitches him up. Before leaving, he hands John a bottle of pills, knowing full well he won't rest to recover. Meanwhile, Marcus sets up in a building across the street with a clear shot at Wick. He notices someone entering the room and fires near John, hitting the pillow. John drops off the bed just as Miss Perkins, another assassin hired by Vigo, makes her move to finish him. They clash in a fierce fight, and John notes the contract on him is insultingly low. But Perkins reveals Vigo put $4 million on the table, enough for her to break hotel rules. Even injured, John holds his ground against Perkins. The phone rings. Karen is calling after noise complaints from the room. John restrains her for a moment, answers, and calmly apologizes for the disturbance, saying he had an unwanted guest. Marcus, satisfied John is still alive, packs up and leaves. Perkins crawls toward the door, but John catches her, forcing her to reveal that Vigo's fortune is hidden in a Russian Orthodox church. He knocks her out cold. In the hall, Harry, another hotel assassin, spots John. John asks him to keep an eye on Perkins for him. The next day, John storms the church, a front for Vigo's dirty business. After wiping out the guards and roughing up the priest, he forces him to open the vault packed with documents and stacks of cash. Without hesitation, John sets it all ablaze, burning down Vigo's empire. Back at the hotel, Perkins wakes tied up in Harry's room. He warns her she's broken the rules and management will deal with her. But she manages to free herself, kills Harry, and escapes. Vigo discovers John destroyed his stash and executes the priest who was supposed to guard it. As he leaves the church, John ambushes him, opening fire on Vigo and his men, sparking another shootout. John takes down several guards, but Kirill, one of Vigo's enforcers, slams him with a car, dragging John to an empty warehouse. Vigo interrogates him, mocking his failure. Enraged by the fall of his empire, Vigo orders his men to finish John. But Marcus, hidden with a sniper, intervenes just in time. John breaks free, kills the thug, and escapes the warehouse hunting for Vigo. A car speeds off, but John cuts across and slams it head-on, sending it crashing into another vehicle. He kills the driver. Vigo crawls out, begging for calm. John demands Iosef's location. Vigo pleads for his life, offering peace in exchange. John insists he call off the bounty. Vigo agrees, trading his son's location for his own survival. John tracks Iosef to a shipyard. With lethal precision, he wipes out the guards and corners Iosef. Without hesitation, John ends him with a shot to the head, walking away without a glance back. Back at the hotel, John gathers his things. As he heads out, Charon hands him the keys to a 1970 Chevelle SS, saying it's the hotel's way of apologizing for last night's trouble. John takes the keys and drives off. Later, he meets Marcus, who jokes about how many times he'll have to save his life. John replies he's really retired this time. Marcus leaves, but on his way home, he's ambushed by Vigo and his men. Vigo calls John, thanking him for giving his son a quick death, then reveals Marcus betrayed him, hired to take John out. Furious, Vigo tells Marcus he had every chance to finish John, and if he had done the job, Iosef would still be alive. Beaten bloody, Marcus makes one last stand, but Perkins arrives and executes him. John finds Marcus dead at his home. Meanwhile, Perkins answers a call from Karen, summoning her to Winston, the Continental's owner. Winston informs her that her membership has been revoked for breaking the rules. His men promptly put her down. Soon after, Winston tells John Vigo is fleeing by helicopter. John chases him through a raging storm. After cutting down Vigo's men, John intercepts him, and the two face off in a brutal fight. No guns, just blades and fists. Though badly wounded, John drives a knife into Vigo's neck. Beaten and bleeding, Vigo accepts his fate and dies. Exhausted and bleeding out, John hears Helen's voice from an old video echoing the film's opening. He stumbles into a veterinary clinic, patches himself up, and finds a pit bull. He takes the dog and walks into the city, free to start over. The film ends with John and the dog walking together toward a new beginning. Well guys, that's today's movie. Drop a comment below and tell me what you thought. I'm Gustavo Marquez, signing off. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.